this video will be about laying out the face of the bow for the overall shape if you're looking at the bow from the front. Also a little bit of info on terminology for bows. The part that faces away from you is actually called the back, which seems weird, but that's what they call it, and the belly is the part that faces towards the archer while he's shooting. So I'll use those terms if I'm referring to the different sides of the piece of wood. So the belly is towards the hand, and the back is the business end, if you will, where the arrow's going. So this bow is going to be a 64-inch bow, and so what I'm going to do is, right now you're going to see me mark out the different measurements. So I'm going to mark out 64 inches, I'm going to mark out 32 inches for half, and then I'm going to mark out what would be considered mid-limb length, so 16 inches from the center, which would also be 16 inches from either end. So I'm going to do that now and put a straight line across there. I couldn't find my speed square, so I'll just be using a ruler, which is not ideal, but for this it's going to be close enough. Luckily, since I'm laying it out on the bandsaw, since I'm shaping it on the bandsaw, I only have to have the markings on one side. The other ones, when you shape them by hand, you have to draw it on both sides, and that's where the speed square is helpful for transferring the design from one side to the other of the bow. If you're doing it by hand, you have to flip the bow back and forth. But like I said, since we're using the power tools, yay, modern, speeding things up, I can just lay it out and draw the shape on just one side. And so, as far as pretty straightforward, got my nice big tape measure on the end, take it out to 64 inches, and make a little mark at 64 inches, make a mark at 32 inches, make a mark at 48 inches, which is halfway between 32 and 64. That took me longer than I would have liked. Let me come up with that math real quick, and then make a mark at 16 inches as well. And then go through with my ruler and square off a line across, square-ish off line across at those spots. Not quite enough. The midpoint line here will be very helpful for laying the bow out. So then I'm also going to thin the bow for the handle a little bit, so I'm going to measure 3 inches to either side of the center, and make a mark there as well. And then actually do that now, and another 2 inches out from there for the taper. And then same deal, we're going to make those lines straight across. Now as we look at the whole bow, or the whole, I guess it's technically a stab at this point, we've got the first mark at 16 inches, the midpoint mark 3 inches to either side for the handle, and then 2 inches for the taper. Back to the mid-limb mark on this side, and then the cutoff point where we will cut the actual extra wood off. So now the next step is to shape the actual curves that will be cut into it.